Previously on Funny Science Fiction.
When you think about it, it's kind of interesting to think of Star Trek as like a 1960s and 70s Rosetta Stone.
Yeah. See, and I can't speak like him.
Exactly.
Hi, this is Hallea Jones, and you are listening to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
The podcast that tried turning special awkward into being special cool, but we just couldn't stick the landing. All right, guys, our guest today is one of the stars of the hit Netflix series Locke Key. Not to mention that she has an absolutely delightful singing voice. Seriously, you're going to want to check it out on YouTube. I did. I kind of fell into a little bit of a wormhole. Lots of fun. But the videos of her and her co-stars singing together on YouTube are quite enjoyable. Very delightful voices. But we're very proud and very happy to welcome Hallea Jones to the Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Welcome to the show, Hallea.
Hello, thanks for having me. And thanks for that lovely introduction. I always forget that we put things out there into the world and people can actually consume them.
Right?
I'm like, oh yeah, that's the thing that we do.
That was the thing that I made it so people could watch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know, it's kind of funny what we can find on YouTube these days. You get into these little
terrifying.
Wormholes, right? You know, there's things that I've put out there even, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I put that out there.
Yeah.
You know,
One of my closest friends is a journalist at a very like highfalutin news agency, whatever it's called. Anyway, before the show came out, I got her to do a complete deep dive, like complete stalk of me, like into all the corners of the internet that she could find, because that's, as a journalist, what she's supposed to do is like find everything, and didn't find anything scandalous that I wasn't happy about. So that's the good part about it. But there's lots of singing videos, including my grade 8 graduation song that I wrote that I wish I could take down.
Oh, you mean the song Celebration? Yeah.
No,
I didn't see. That's
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's right.
Yes.
I didn't see that one at all.
That's not mentioned in Tim's first question at all.
I should not have brought that up.
Oh, don't worry, it was already there.
Whether you were going to bring it up or not, one of us, me, was probably going to bring it up anyway.
Oh, God.
Well, hey, you know what? So my daughter is, goodness gracious, freshman this year. That's right, 9th grade. I had to think about that for a second. She's going to kill me when she sees this. But anyway, my daughter has a very good singing voice. And, you know, so she's done a lot of different singing things. And so she would have been about pretty close in age to you when you did your 8th grade graduation singing video.
Yeah.
And then I watched a couple of videos, not only the song "Congratulations" of your 8th grade graduation.
Wait, so this was actually part of your first question?
This was legitimately part of his first question.
This was very much part of.
I just randomly brought that up because of the deep dive in YouTube that you were talking about. Oh my God!
Natural
really?
tie-in. You did fantastic tie-in. You led right into it.
I have to say, I have never been more grateful that my choir concerts are all literally on tape. They haven't been digitized.
Give me time. I'm working on it.
I was in the background. I was on the brink of that world.
Yeah, so
I'm just glad that I didn't have a TikTok when I was a kid. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm glad that I wasn't raised in this time. At least I was far enough away where it's like in the home videos in like a full physical book with CDs and stuff. But imagine growing up with like little, like a freaking this thing. That's terrifying. Anyway, continue.
No, some of these kids with TikTok accounts are screwed when they grow up. That's for sure. But no, I noticed that, you know, whether it was the video that we've already mentioned a couple times, or the you singing with Amelia on the set of what looked to be on the set of Locke and Key, like maybe in a downtime, a little bit of a break. So what I'm mostly curious about, because I always like to know people's backgrounds and their stories, and you know, kind of what makes them who they are. So I'm very curious about your musical interests, and you know, where did you get your inspirations from for music, and are you musical because your family's musical, or are you musical because you're just musical?
I think both. I think like I know friends who come from families that aren't musical who are some of the greatest musicians I know, and vice versa. I I think the fact that I grew up in a very musical family that fostered the innate ability of music within me, and as well as entertainment in general. Like my dad is still like a professional jazz pianist, and like you could hum a tune and he can just play the whole freaking song. Like it's incredible.
I love and hate people like that.
I know. Well, the thing is that, so I also have a half brother who's the head of music school, and my brother August is a musician who plays every freaking instrument. Like he'll pick up an instrument in a week and just be like, yeah, I learned how to play the tuba the other day. And I'm like, what? And he produces, he's incredible. And that actually, so it's definitely in my blood, because also my half sister is also a musician and singer, and et cetera, et cetera. It's all throughout the family. But that actually caused me to go away from it for a long time. I kind of separated myself from music because I grew up playing the piano, and I was just like, I don't want to sit and do my scales anymore. And so I stopped when I was maybe like 13, 14, maybe the edge of like high school. And I only refound it about 3-4 years ago when my friend introduced me to an open mic, and I fell back in love with it, because no longer was it someone telling me I had to do it. It was me finding it again. And it truly changed my life. Like it changed my whole perspective. It changed the way that I could acknowledge and reflect on my life and the experiences I had. Because now I could put them into something outside of myself. And so I think it was a mixture between family and natural ability, but I think it depends, like it's either or, but I think having both of those is a great thing I'm very grateful for now. My parents would say, told you so.
Oh, never let your parents say that.
Yeah.
And they can't ever hear you admit that they would tell you so. Like that's end of the world.
Well, I think they know though, because I did for season 2, my gift to myself and my family was a baby grand piano. So I think that was a pretty big told you so. And that's like the biggest adult purchase I've ever made in my life. And when I moved downtown, my dad was like, are you going to take it with you? And I'm like, have you seen the size of my apartment? No, right. Like that belongs in the family house. Like this was a gift for all of us, and to share my gratitude and stuff. And I was, blessed to be able to do something like that, to thank them for the, getting me into music. But more so it was like me thanking the bloodline for bestowing upon me something so innate as creating a melody. Yeah.
Nice.
Really cool.
And as a parent, I just want to say we do live for the moments where we get to say, I told you so.
Oh, yeah.
So it's fun.
I'm also there, but usually it's my 3-year-old tripping over something, and I'm like,
I just want to say though that it does gain power as they get older.
I cannot wait.
Because having almost a 23-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 14-year-old or 15-year-old now, it's fun when you go, yeah, I told you not to do that. See, Dad was right.
But sometimes you have to learn that for yourself. You just like, there are so many things where it's just like, you could have told me not to do that, but I really needed to feel the burn of it.
Hey, I wasn't gonna listen to you, but
that was this guy growing up.
And then you made 3
You told me what? I did.
Mm-hmm.
I self-replicated 3 times, and my poor wife. I adore her so, and she needs to be given a halo for sainthood. But just to piggyback off that original question there, Hallea, what were some of the musical artists though that you drew inspiration from outside of family?
Now or throughout my whole life?
Sure.
Oh, I've been going through a deep dive of some old music. The first one that comes to mind is Avril Lavigne.
Okay.
Like, super big Avril Lavigne fan growing up. Like Hilary Duff was like right before, and like Spice Girls. Those were like my earliest childhood memories. As of recently, more like Bon Iver, Know of One More, that kind of stuff. I remember growing up to Shania Twain, ABBA. ABBA is huge in my family.
Okay.
Elton John, Billy Joel, like
Nice.
a lot of different sounds. Yeah, just like Eric Clapton, like Miles Davis was like a big influence from my brother, because I was like, what are you listening to? I want to listen to that too. So yeah, all over the place. But like as of recently, like Avril Lavigne and Madonna have been my big listen parties. It's all over the place. Whenever someone puts me on the spot, it's like, what's your favorite movie? I'm like, I've never watched a movie a day in my life. Like, I don't know. Which is, I have.
Suddenly can't remember anything.
Where's my mind? I don't know. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I totally get that. Anytime somebody's like, what's your favorite? It's like, I don't know.
I don't have anything favorite. I have no idea.
Right?
Yeah.
So I also grew up in a musical family. My grandma was an opera singer, so I have a lot of childhood memories of my grandmother sewing while singing opera, which was just hilarious to a small child. Yeah. And so I mean, I understand that, like, you have all of those different influences. You have Miles Davis, you have Eric Clapton, and they all kind of merge together to form you now. But you had said in a recent tweet, and this is where the research comes in, because I was scrolling through your Twitter a little bit, that your newest album is an experimental album not meant to be played at parties, but to feel your feelings. Like, I really liked that tweet. That was a cool tweet. So what's your motivation behind helping people feel their feelings through your music? And besides your own music, what are your go-to artists right now to help you feel your own feelings?
So yay. Again with the, oh my god, I put things out on the internet and the people actually see it.
People can find them.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, when I was making a lot of the songs that tweet was referring to my album As Is on SoundCloud, which is something I just like really softly released. I didn't really push it much. And As Is comes from just like, they were a bunch of songs that I had made between, I guess over the space of COVID and learning how to produce, and they aren't perfect. There are definitely parts where I'm just like, oh, that could have been done better or whatever, but it's as is. Like, it was just like, I'm not revisiting these songs. I'll admit sometimes I was just like, it's either I can't find the file for them because they were made so long ago, and I have horrible organizational skills when it comes to that stuff, or I'm just way too lazy to go back in and fix it. Or I just feel like, okay, you know what, it's good enough, because so many artists I know have so many incredible songs that never see the light of day because they're not perfect. So getting back to your question, I don't know, like, I didn't go into it being like, I'm going to make an album that's going to make people feel things. Like, I think I was just needing to feel. And Bonnie Bear is a huge inspiration to me. And it's not even like, oh, I'm going to make a song like Bonnie Bear song. It's not even that, because there are so many different like pieces from different sounds and artists that I merge into my stuff that I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just like, oh, this sounds good. That sounds like a thing, you know? And it just happens. But I really wanted people to, like, you'll see it in the numbers in the SoundCloud. Like, the first song has like 900 like clicks or whatever. And then the second one has 500. And then the third one has like, I don't know, I haven't checked, like 400, 300 or something like that. And
Nice.
Someone actually wrote to me being like, maybe you should change the first song and not make it the first song. Because like, people are going to be like, why are you doing these weird sounds? It's like some guy called it like a moaning track. And I was like, that's not what it is, but okay.
Well, thanks for going awkward there, Chet.
Yeah,
So.
I was like, what? And like, we know, thanks for showing me where your mind's at, buddy. Like,
right.
And so I put it there. I put that song as the first one, which is a very ethereal, not melodically driven song. Because if someone's not willing to sit through that one and feel that one, because if you sit with it in your headphones in like a dim space, you'll feel it. Like there's something there that I captured. I don't remember recording it. I don't remember making it. I think I was like very early pandemic Hallea, like probably a little stoned in my attic apartment downtown Toronto, and I don't remember making it. But it sets up for the rest of the album, which is an album of letting go. Letting go of a past lover and a past experience and a past self. And I feel like a lot of people go through that in so many ways, whether it be relationships, family, friendships, or the changing of themselves. We have to let go of the past and move forward with it. And I think that first song is kind of like it's setting the tone of zoning into oneself and being content in the now and the present that we're in. And so I don't want people hopping around it. Like I don't want people going to like the 7th song and then going to the 2nd song, because it doesn't work like that. Like the day before I released it, all the songs got jumbled because I tried to do something on SoundCloud. I don't know, technology isn't my strong suit. And I had to relist them. And what was interesting was I couldn't fully remember how they were listed, even though they were like ready to be published for so long. And I listened to all the songs and the lyrics intently again and found a lot of the story way clearer than I ever had before. And when people sit down to listen to it, I want them to find their own story and experience the emotions that come up and allow themselves to experience that. And I think that's what the first track does, is it just kind of breaks down those walls of expectation and just says, okay, where the heck is this going? Let's just go with it. And I'm also really influenced by Now, Nao. She's an incredible artist who also produces all of her stuff. And her album, For All We Know, is incredible. Like that's a listen start to finish album, and each song kind of goes into the next one, and that's another influence. But I think I only answered half of the question.
That's totally fine.
You did great.
You've gone into the artists that are influencing as well. Like that's really cool.
Sweet. Was that the second half of the question?
Yeah, no, you got it. You're good.
Okay.
I think we're good. I forgot what the other half of your question was, but I was just listening to your answer. I liked it. So you're doing great. So
sweet. I can go on tangents for a long time, so I didn't know if we were like time sensitive or anything like that.
No, you know what?
We've
always said we love tangents.
Okay.
The long-winded answers are always the best answers because more details come out and we get to find out more stuff. So no worries. I
honestly sometimes through these answers discover things too, because put on the spot to discuss a piece of art is really interesting, because when you're on your own thinking about it, like your brain can like want some big answer, but trying to mold it down into like a smaller answer, like a bite-sized perspective of the piece, really forces an artist, myself, to reflect on it in a way that is manageable for someone else to understand, which like I sometimes don't even understand my own songs until months later, and I'll like explain it to someone or something, or they'll explain it to me and I'll be like, oh, that's what it means. So that's
by Jove, I got it.
yeah
So I personally love to see and hear stories about behind the scenes kind of things. And so I was rewatching Locke Key, and the one thing I thought would be fun to get a story behind is the scene when Kinsey uses the music box against you in the school cafeteria. You did a really good job with acting that. And
thank you.
So do you have like any behind the scenes stories that you can share about that scene?
Oh my goodness. Wow, that feels like forever ago. Geez, I haven't thought about that day in a long time, but it's been funny seeing how that has been one of the number one scenes that people love discussing, and going on to set for season 2 was really interesting because one of the crew members came up to me and he was like, so you were like on wires, right? And this man has worked on films forever and ever, so like you would think like, you know, he'd maybe like, he's having a set perspective of it. He's like, you were on wires, right? And I was like, no, I wasn't. Like, that was just me just doing like the thing, you know? And he was like mind blown at it. And I've always been like a very athletic, flexible person since I was young. So it was funny because I was working with Roberto Capinella, who's worked with Guillermo del Toro and some incredible people. And we were choreographing this thing. And he was like, okay, can you put your leg up on the table? And I just, like, and he was like, okay.
Like,
and no thought to it, just move, like all of these things that typically I think, given another actor who's not as body aware as I feel very, very grateful that I am, would not really know what to do with themselves. So I feel like they kind of were like, oh, struck gold on this one, like she's willing to do whatever and she can do it. And so I was like, we did 2 separate rehearsals leading up to the day, and then the day came and it was the first day I had ever been on set where it was just like dedicated to my scene. Everything that I had done, like season 1 wasn't like a huge role, it became one, but everything that I had done up until then was like a little scene here and there, you know, maybe like a few lines. And so it was like the most exciting thing for me because I was like, oh my God, everyone's here to like, I'm gonna do the performing, like I'm a performer, like, you know. And so we got to filming, and that initial fall, I literally fell every single time. Like I tripped myself, and I've never really done stunt training. I've never done like stage combat or whatever. So I was just kind of making it up as I go and just hoping everyone like kind of believed me. So I was literally tripping myself, like not even smartly, like probably could have broken my knees. But I had padding and everything. And Mark, the director, comes up to me. He's like, you know, you don't have to fall every time. Like we can cut, like we can, it's fine. I'm like, no, no, it's fine. I mean, like, let's go again. And so we started doing the table stuff, and there was this like background actor across from me who was like, I didn't know I was gonna get food all over me. And I was like, you're saying that you didn't know that you were gonna get food on you? Girl, wait. And it was just really, really, really funny. So she and a few other people had put like plastic garbage bags like over their clothes and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm like super soaking myself with moisturizer in a bottle. It's supposed to look like ranch. And God knows what was in that smoothie. I have no idea. No clue. All I knew is it got really weird and crusty after it dried, and it was really gross. But
that does not sound appealing at all.
It was not. But luckily, it wasn't like actual smoothie. Like, if you look at it, is it a chocolate smoothie or is it a strawberry smoothie? No one knows. All it is really gross. But the ranch was in fact moisturizer, which I was like, oh, nice little moisturization in the middle of my workday. But we did that shot in one take. When you see my back's turned and my hand comes up like this and goes around, that was all one take, and I was shaking like a freaking leaf. Like, it was, because I was like, I don't want to go and get reset. I don't want to have to go wash my hair and wash my face and get new clothes and stuff. We're going to do this once.
Right.
And it was exhilarating. Like, there were a few moments in season 2 that were also the same kind of thing where I was like, I love my job. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I can recall at the moment. And then the lap dance on the statue, don't even get me started. That was the most awkward thing I've ever done in my life. Weirdest thing ever.
you did a really good job being scared when Kinsey's fear was at the window. Like,
Thank you.
did you know that was going to happen, or did they like surprise you with that?
Oh no. I mean, we did have a knack in season 1 to scare Amelia a lot, which would have been funny. But no, I knew that was happening because we had to do from so many different angles. And when it like comes back on me, it's like straight through the window. But we did actually have, I think her name was Erica. We had Erica in costume as the fear monster popping out every time. But no, I didn't. I knew that was coming, and that's also been another thing. Like my mom called me afterwards. She was like, "You did such a good job being scared. Like you looked really, really scared." And I'm like, "Good. I'm doing my job right." Put me in the
Yay,
new
me.
Scream franchise. Like I want to be in the new Scream franchise. Yeah.
Nice. So there was some good news back in, was it November, I believe, where Locke Key has been renewed for a 3rd season on Netflix. You guys will be coming back. Literally one of the good things to come from the hellscape that has been 2020 and 2020 Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, also known as 2021.
And now 2022.
If it's Part 3, I swear to God. I swear. Anyway. But I was thinking that maybe for the show, for those who aren't familiar with the show, rather, that you could give just a brief overview of, you know, who your character is, how she fits into the show, and then maybe also inform everybody exactly how cute Jackson Robert Scott is, who plays Bodhi, because holy crap, that little dude is cute.
So cute. Yeah. He's so sweet. So for Eden season 1 and 2,
Sure.
because those are 2 different people.
I
They
know,
are.
in ways that I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't watched. Let's just say that Eden's unhinged, and then in season 2 she's just completely off the hinges completely. Just the door is not even there. She just walks right through. She's just like, "What's up?" I don't know how to get it. I've done so many interviews about this character, and I have no idea how to explain her because like she's so a part of me and apart from me in the weirdest ways. Eden
Okay,
season
so
1 is Eden season 1 is the Regina George of Matheson boarding academy or whatever it's called. And
that's a Mean Girls reference, right? Am I right?
Yes.
You
Yes,
you are
yes.
right.
Mean Girls.
It's a
Yeah.
fabulous movie. If you haven't watched it, Tim,
Very-
you need to.
Very good.
No, I
And it
have.
also-
That's the thing. I have watched that movie. I know that movie. I just had to sit there and go, Regina George. I know that name. Why do I know that name? So
Yeah.
anyway,
It is one of my husband's favorite movies.
I just,
Regina
you know,
George.
that was one of my squirrel moments. We're just gonna keep going. Go ahead.
They filmed it in Toronto too. Like they filmed it in my hometown, which I'm like, bring back those kinds of movies.
Right.
So season 1, she's like the basic mean girl, but really I just think that she needs some good friends, which is hard to get when you're in high school. So I actually related a lot with Eden in those terms. And as we see the progression of her character over the 2 seasons, she definitely, let's put these in spoiler-free terms. She becomes intoxicated with the pursuit of power and pleasure.
Fair enough. Okay.
Wow, I should have used that in. I just came up with that. That's good.
And now you have a perfect way to word it for next time somebody asks you a question similar to
Yeah.
mine. There you go.
Yeah, without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I think that was really well done. Jolly good show.
I haven't watched it, so I'm actually grateful for no spoilers.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
You're doing
Season
well.
2 Eden's so much cooler. Like way cooler though. Like I gotta say, her season, like Eden season 2 is just absolutely a bombshell. in so many terms, so many versions of that term. She's a bombshell. I love her. I love her so much. The E, well, you can't really see it, but that's an E pillow. That is a pillow that I got when we announced season 3. Like we all held up those like little signs that had letters and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I got the E.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
So I also noticed that you're credited as older girl in an episode of The Boys. I love that was the credit though. Older girl.
No name for her.
Well, and I'm also I was laughing at it with she's 5 years younger than me. She's classified as older girl. Really? Yeah. That's where we're going with this.
I think it was older girl in comparison to the other kids around, I guess. And
right,
even then,
I think it was like
yeah, because there was like younger girl. Yeah, that was a time.
Which they just announced season 3 premieres June 3rd of that show.
Wow.
So it makes me wonder if it was like a Pokemon thing where you had to catch them all. There was the older girl, the medium girl, and the younger girl. You know, were they like the Russian dolls, the Russian nesting dolls, where they all just hidden inside of each other? Or
well, what's funny is that my career has been kind of like a Russian nesting doll progression. And older girl, I think that was like the 3rd thing I'd done, because I know the first thing I did was Working Moms, where I was Pilates teacher. No lines. I just had to flick my hair very sassily and aggressively towards one of the main women. The second one was Handmaid's Tale. It was improv scene that they didn't end up using, but I still got it. It's not on my credits though, because it wasn't in the final show, unfortunately. But
you were still there.
I was still there. I was still paid. That's what matters.
That is really, when it comes down to it, that's what matters.
Hey, we all got to eat. We all got to eat.
That's right.
And then there was, I think The Boys came after that, which was older girl, where I had one line, and that was like, "Well, did you have sex with him? PG-13." Right? Whispers. And that was funny. I was just looking for Chase Crawford everywhere. I just wanted to hang out with Chase Crawford and Seth Rogen, and they weren't even there. It was really depressing. But yeah, I worked up, and then I ended up on Locke Key, and that's where everything changed. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So with The Boys, are you a superhero fan anyway, or was it hey, there's this little background role that is available for you?
No, so it's all in the hands of my my agents. So agents are kind of like the foundation of connection through roles. I mean, there are different things, like you can find different ways of getting onto productions and stuff as an actor, but for me, I have an agent who sent me an audition and was like, "Hey, it's a one-liner for this show, The Boys." No one had heard about it before, but I was like, "Oh my God, it's Seth Rogen. Like, I want to work with Seth Rogen." I'm still manifesting that I'll work with Seth Rogen on a way bigger capacity than that one day. Yeah, so they connected me with it. So I've actually never really been much of. I feel like I'm gonna get like exiled here. Seeing both of your screens, like at least Nick's like a little bit neutral, but both of you are like, yeah,
nerds.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're not nerds at all.
Just focus.
I love the concept of it. Like, I love the concept of being a part of this world outside of our own. And I was just never introduced to it as a kid. Like, my parents weren't into it. We didn't have family members who were into it. My brother was a bit, but it was like his bro thing to do with his dude friends. That and like Guitar Hero. And so I've never really been a big superhero fan or like comic book fan. But when I did book Locke and Key, I read the books and I loved them. I thought they were great.
Fair enough.
So
Fair
is
enough.
there an aspect of sci-fi that you're looking at wanting to get into that you find interesting and intriguing now?
As an actor, or just as like a consumer?
Just as a consumer, even.
I mean, with all the hype about Spider-Man and like how like, you know, Tom Holland and Zendaya look together, I mean, yeah, I want to get into that world. Like Zendaya. Like I mean, I am in COVID quarantine right now, so I probably could, but I feel like I'd have to like quarantine for a month if I wanted to get into the whole MCU world, right? That's just so expansive.
It is pretty big, but
Yeah, a couple days,
also...
a couple days with Disney Plus, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's pretty well spelled out on Disney Plus, like
in order. My brother is going from like the full out order, like the all the intertwined things.
Timeline order right now.
Yeah,
I'm watching them in timeline order. I just actually when I get home tonight, I'll be starting Iron Man 2. I've gone through the first few movies. Now I'm into Iron Man 2. So
I think it's so fascinating, like to think that the brains of it was Stan Lee, right? He kind of was the pinnacle of like creating this whole world. Like, what an incredible super mind. I find it so fascinating. And it's incredible. Like, I was watching an interview with Andrew Garfield, I think the other day, where he was talking about how when he put on the suit, he kind of realized that it wasn't him. It wasn't about him in the suit. It was the suit, and anyone could be in the suit. But it's like you're stepping into this character that's larger than life and opens up this whole realm of opportunity for kids of all ages to see the potential of life and you know, expand their imagination and stuff like that. And it doesn't, especially with the Superman or Spider-Man suit, like you don't see any flesh tone. Right. So it's like anyone can be in that suit, and I just find it a beautiful like concept and community. I just haven't found my way into it yet, but I am now that I'm like in the comic book world with Locke Key. I think if I'm gonna start going to Comic-Cons, I should probably learn a thing or two.
maybe a couple things.
Yeah.
And I have to say that if you don't want to jump into the whole MCU, you could go the route of Deadpool and start there.
True, I do like me some Ryan Reynolds.
It's definitely worth it.
Oh, to be Blake Lively.
I know.
For so many reasons. Yeah.
Because she's gorgeous and married to Ryan Reynolds. In addition to hundreds of other reasons.
Everything else, yeah. To be in just like that relationship, anyway, I could talk all day. They're gorgeous.
Did you
they're adorable. Their relationship goals.
Instagram post and Twitter post, I think, about their youngest being obsessed with Baby Shark. And
but I'm gonna check that out.
There's only one way to cure her of this, and it's a picture of Blake Lively sitting on a surfboard from her whatever, I don't remember what shark movie she was in.
In the Shallows or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god.
Implying he's going to make the 1-year-old watch Shallows. I'm like, I never thought about that.
What?
That was an option?
They have like the best relationship ever.
They really do. They really do. Tim is like, you're a little bit upset that you haven't made that joke, aren't you, Tim?
Yeah.
A smidgen, perhaps.
Oh, we bet. Smart at you again.
That's gonna happen. It's Ryan Reynolds.
So, Hallea, we all have had something in our lives that encourage us or drive us to aspire to things. What is like a piece or words of wisdom that have like touched you that you would like to share with people?
I mean, there's a lot to put into words, but maybe the experience that I had when I was in high school that, like I said, I went away from music for a while, and it was largely because I didn't get into the arts program in my school. And I auditioned for the vocal program and for the acting program, and I didn't get into either. And that was because I didn't have good like academics. Like, I'm very ADHD. I couldn't sit down and like focus. I just didn't really care much for school. I love learning, but the way that they were teaching just wasn't great for my brain. But I would like perform at school shows and stuff, and just didn't feel like, it was kind of like, well, why are you here? You're not part of the arts program. And there were so many opportunities given to me to give up and just not do it. And I did. I like stepped away from music for a while. I stepped away from like auditioning for the school show and all that stuff. And then Degrassi came and auditioned like 600 people at my school. And as I was in line, someone asked me what I was doing there. I was like, I'm here to audition. Like, this is the audition line. And 4 people got a call back, and I was one of them. And I went in for the callback, and the casting director was like, I really like you for this role, but like, I can't cast you because you don't have camera training. Go get trained and then come back to me. And a few years later, I actually auditioned for her again. And I told her after the audition, I was like, hey, just by the way, this incited this drive within me to go and professionally train myself. And so I think that has been the greatest lesson. One of the greatest lessons I've ever learned was just like, I could have gone to university like everyone told me to. And I'm not saying don't go to university. Like, go to university if you'd like to, but there's more options out there. Like, there's a lot of the people who were like, oh, well, I had someone say to me, like, you're not going to do much with your life if you don't go to university. And I know so many people who went to university and still don't know what they're doing with their lives. So it's like, I'd rather take that risk and just do something that I love to do. And I'm glad that I did that. And it wasn't certain. There were many days where I was like in acting classes in the bathroom crying on the phone to my mom, being like, have I messed it all up? Like, why am I here? What am I doing? And I've gotten lucky, but I truly believe that luck only comes to those who are prepared for it. And you have to work for what you want. It's not going to just be handed to you. And most likely you're going to get handed way more rejections than you're going to get handed yeses and support. Like, it's great if you have a few people who are going to support you, but you have to support yourself more than any of those people, because at the end of the day, you're the only person who's going to actually make it happen for you. So that was an experience that I think, as devastated and sad I was to not get into those programs and how horrible it was of a time for me, it was like a really depressing, uncertain of who I am and where I was going time. It ended up being one of the most beautiful gifts ever. And I'm really glad for that, because in this industry, rejection is like my best friend. Like, I can want a thing, like a show so badly. I'll pour my heart and soul into the audition and I'll never hear back. And then like 2 years from now, or like, a year and a half from now, I'll see a Deadline article being like, this actor is starring in this thing. And I'm like, I wanted that thing. And it's like, okay, well, that's great for them. Like, that's meant for them. It's not meant for me. Like, I auditioned for so many things that I wanted so badly that I wouldn't have been able to do Locke and Key if I booked it. And so learning that rejection is sometimes the biggest blessing in the world, and to use that rejection to fuel just continuing to do it, as long as there's passion and there's joy in it. As soon as the joy is gone, as soon as the passion is run dry, maybe that's when to kind of look at everything and be like, okay, what can I do differently? What's going wrong here? But like, yeah. And that's probably been one of the biggest lessons I've learned. And I hope that somebody can take something from that long-winded rant.
Very good. Yeah, it made me think there's 2 ways that you can respond to rejection. You can do what you did, and you can try to turn it into opportunity, or it creates a really awesome evil villain background story. So I'm glad you chose option number 1.
Or you could just do both.
Or there's both. Yes. You could have an evil opportunity. There you go.
I definitely like the way she thinks.
And this is how Eden came to life.
There you go. Exactly.
Literally all of season 2 is like me seeing this opportunity with season 1 and being like, and then they gave me the opportunity.
But what if?
Yeah. What if she was like crazy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Hallea, on another show, Kathleen and I host, we've talked with a few Canadian folks, like yourself. And we have one particular question that we like to ask our Canadian friends.
Because we
So here it is. Even though we're not on pop culture addicts right now, I'm going to ask you anyway. What's your favorite poutine?
Oh,
Because poutine, I mean,
I don't even know what a poutine is.
How do you not know what poutine is, Nick? Oh my gosh.
that hurts me to my soul. I am crushed.
Sad Nick.
poutine is basically poutine is fries slathered in gravy and cheese, like
cheese curds.
like cheese curds, and then you can put like meats on it and stuff, like different things.
Bacon.
So
Brisket.
to answer your question, I went vegetarian 6 years ago, and then I went vegan 3 years ago for like 2 years, or maybe a year. I went hardcore vegan for like a couple months to a year. Now I'm plant-based, so I don't eat meat at all. And I wasn't eating like gravy and cheese. So I was just having poutine without the toppings, which is just fries.
French fries.
So you're having fries. Okay, gotcha.
But there was a vegan poutine truck one day, and I slathered the barbecue jackfruit all over that. I got all of the vegan things, and it was freaking delicious. Like, my friend who's not vegan had some and was actually like, oh wow, this is really good. So that's my favorite, barbecue jackfruit pulled poutine.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. Or poutine, or like a fry dipped in a Wendy's
Frosty?
what is it? Milk frosty. Yeah.
My daughter does that.
Fries and frosty.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll do that with
Cool.
the chicken nuggets too. Just like
Oh, I haven't had a chicken nugget in so long. It kind of makes my stomach turn.
I don't think I could. You meant dip them in a frosty, didn't you? Is that what you meant?
yeah,
No, gotta
Don't
pass
knock
on
it
that
till
one.
you try it.
do it.
No, passing hard. To quote the Pitch Perfect movie, no, hard pass.
So what is your chicken nugget dip of choice, Tim?
Honey mustard, hot honey mustard.
I was always
And then I dip my French fries in the hot honey mustard too, because that's delightful.
Oh, wow.
There was a kid I used to babysit who dipped them in caramel. Chicken nuggets in caramel sauce.
That's weird.
I thought it was
weird.
really weird, but it's delicious. It's like salted caramel on chicken. It shouldn't work.
Well,
but
that's
it
like
did.
chicken on waffles.
Mhm.
Like, don't get it, but then you put some like maple syrup on it, and it's great.
Yeah, I understand how it works, but it does.
Especially if it's like next day fried chicken, like leftover KFC fried chicken with waffles in the morning. So good.
Yeah.
I know, right? I totally understand. It is one of those like, why would you do that?
Yeah, but I get it because I have done it before, you know, like I've like definitely been there, done it before. Like chicken nuggets, chicken wings, and junior chickens or junior McChickens were the hardest things for me to give up. And now if it's in the room, just because I haven't had those smells in so long, like I just like it's something like within me, just like it just doesn't sit well with me. But like, go ahead, eat it. I'm not gonna give you a hard time, but I just don't like it.
I appreciate that. I get that.
And all of a sudden in my head, all I can hear is chicken wing, hot dog, and bologna. Anyway, we were asking serious, journalistic, responsible questions.
So
please go ahead.
I have a sort of follow up to Tim's question, and now it's even more complicated with are there vegan things to order at Tim Hortons? What's your Tim Hortons order?
There are like no vegan things at Tim Hortons except for their potato wedges. Okay. I'm so mad about it. They didn't even have alternative milk until like a month ago.
Oh my
word. I don't understand. I was like, Because here's the thing about vegan eating. It's not plants only. Like, it's not like eating like a bunny. It's just meals without certain ingredients. Like, that's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is. And everyone can eat vegan. Not everyone can eat non-vegan. Right?
Mhm.
So for me, it just seems like a really smart business move to open up the opportunity for the percentage of the population who doesn't drink milk, who doesn't eat meat, who don't eat eggs, who don't want to, but love Timmy's because they're Canadian, or just because they're, like Timmy's, but mainly
they're
because we're
freaking
Canadian
delicious.
and they're delicious. And I think we're like signed by birth that you have to like at least have Tim Hortons at least once a year. As a Canadian, it's a rite of passage.
Even
but
as
I don't-
Michiganders, when we're just junior Canadians.
Michiganders.
We're junior Canadians. It's okay.
Yeah, just like we're kind of there. Like, you have a craving for it, you just have to pass over the border.
There's a
hop
few
over it.
in Michigan. There are
Oh,
a few
yeah?
Tim Hortons in Michigan. Yeah,
We're spreading.
you
Like
are.
a
There's one
virus.
like half an hour from my house, and I'm gonna be down there tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's
We do the same
one
thing.
just 5 minutes from my place.
Tim Hortons tomorrow.
Yeah. If anytime we have to drive towards the next biggest city from our house, where there actually is a couple of Tim Hortons, we're like, well, I
Yeah.
have to do something on the south side of town, so we'll go to that one. And then while on the north side of town, we'll go to that one. And then on our way back home, we'll stop at the south side one again. So yeah, it's
I
totally
love
like
that.
the whole plot around town and doing our errands is based around where can I get my next fix of Timmy's?
Of Timmy's. Yeah.
Because
That's
I'm an addict.
That's like us too, when it's just like going from the cottage home. It's just like, okay, where's the next Timmy's? We got to go to the next Timmy's. But here's the thing though, Timmy's used to have really good coffee, and then apparently, I don't know if this is rumor mill or real, but like I'm like convinced it's real. They sold their coffee bean to McDonald's, and so now Timmy's doesn't have the greatest coffee anymore. McDonald's has the greatest coffee.
Weird.
I would argue that very strongly.
I don't think that's true in the States. at
Because
least.
because the McDonald's by my house,
Their coffee is so bitter.
it's basically poured through an old boot before it's put into your cup. It's
Yes,
pretty
yeah.
horrendous.
Bailey.
It's god awful. I would
What is-
yeah.
But
No.
that weird part of the internet where it's like drinking Bailey's from a boot, like old Greg. Like, is that old Greg? Old Greg seems to be having like I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about. Maybe
No, I don't. But
will know what I mean by drinking Bailey's from a boot. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know. It's come up on TikTok a lot of just being like old Greg. And anyway, but yeah, I don't like many coffee spots. And I have a Starbucks at the end of my street, which has been really dangerous. Because
yeah.
it's just expensive. Like, it's so
They
expensive.
are
I'm like,
expensive.
right.
geez,
Yeah.
I'm paying for everyone's salary in this moment right now.
See, and
I'm
it's
like,
funny. I remember I was like 15 when we went to Toronto for a week, and we stayed at I think it was a Holiday Inn, and they literally had a Tim Hortons like connected to the hotel.
I'm not surprised.
Like it was.
Yeah.
I think there was a door between the two.
Yeah.
And it was this is where we are spending all of our vacation money. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that we're planning on going to the Science Center and the Toronto Zoo and the ROM.
No. Tim Hortons.
There's a Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
put a folding hideaway bed into the Tim
Right.
Hortons for me. Come back. Y'all can come back and visit me later. I'll be right here drinking my next cup.
Like we
Yeah.
got
I'll
up.
have the
So-
shakes in 4 hours, but I'll be fine.
We got up one morning and my dad had a cup of coffee, and I'm like, oh, so like the continental breakfast is there. He's like, Timmy. I'm like, oh.
I mean, yeah.
that
So
makes
to,
sense.
Absolutely.
to answer your question, I would say that used to be the harvest vegetable soup that they don't have anymore. I was like, okay,
Aw.
great, guys. You take off the one thing that I can eat. And if I'm feeling like drinking dairy, I really love ice caps.
Ice
But
caps
they-
are delicious.
Yeah, but like half sweet. They can be really, really sweet.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's my
Oh,
Extra
okay.
large, triple.
Oh,
That's intense.
whoa. No wonder you're having the shakes, man.
I'm fine. What do you mean? I'm fine.
I mean, stick with a double. It's okay. You can do the double.
Yeah. I have too much ADHD for that.
No,
Like,
see, if I
does
get
Tim.
anything but the extra large, I go down to a double. The extra large, it's a little bit bigger. It allows for a little bit more of sugar in it. If I get a
Okay.
large, it's a double. If I get the extra large, it's a triple, because otherwise it's right on the verge of not having enough sweet or being just, or having a little bit of the bitter bite back that coffee can have sometimes.
Yeah, I'm.
I drink
anything-
my coffee black. I drink my coffee
yes.
black, like my soul.
These young people and their existential coffee crises.
Yes, yeah.
And here's me stomp footing around here going, we don't have any creamer. What are we, poor? Anyway.
No, I love black coffee, black tea. I think I became quite the person for black coffee and black tea because black tea was because I worked at David's Tea and I wanted to like taste the flavors of the tea so I can advise people and be a tea guru. And then black coffee was because I had an ex-boyfriend who I wasn't a coffee drinker until I started dating him, and we would go walk his dog and get Timmy's and we get black coffee and he would get black coffee and I would just drink all of his. And so he was like,
Fair
why
enough.
don't I just start getting you one? And he started getting me one, and now I was done for from that day onward.
There you go.
Yeah, I need creamer. Like, just
It's
enough.
helpful. It's
Just
helpful.
enough.
Yeah, yeah.
I've
I haven't
gotten
been
to the point where I don't
through
put
enough yet.
sugar in my coffee anymore.
I use butter instead of creamer.
Oh, like a bullet coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, if you have you ever tried, this is so totally off topic for anything we're doing, but I love this
We have a
conversation.
topic?
I absolutely love this conversation, by the way. If Irish butter, have you tried that? Put that in your creamer because it's
From
it's
Irish cows.
Kerrygold.
yes, Kerrygold.
That's all I
Irish
use
butter.
is Kerrygold. So I'll put like 4 tablespoons of Kerrygold in there and I blend it all up, and
You're gonna die by the time
What
you're
do
40,
I was
but
gonna
yeah.
say, what do your arteries think of this?
they love it.
Oh my god.
Getting
sits
nice
down
little
sits down with his
hubs.
butter coffee and his chicken nugget ice cream. All right. Okay.
The arteries feel like they're getting a hug when they're really just suffocating.
Right there, Halea's like, and I'm done. We're tapping out. Where's that end button? All right. All right, Hallea, we're at a point of our show where we like to run our guests through a little bit of a quiz. And it's not as bad as it sounds, I promise you. It's a 5-question quiz. All right. We call this quiz the year of the movie. Okay, so you'll be given 3 movie titles, and then you'll be given 3 different years, which all those movies may have come out in. So it's multiple choice, and I love the horror on your face right now. This is awesome.
I'm not very literate when it comes to movies, but we'll just see what happens.
All right. So there's 5 questions. Like I said, there's 5 questions. If you get 3 of them correct, we want to send you this I Gave to the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund coffee mug. Okay. Which on the back side of it also has our show logo. Okay.
Sweet. Okay.
If you get 4 questions correct, we'll send you that coffee mug and the book. Nick, do you have the book?
Nope.
Okay, then we're going to use this book. Custodians of the Cosmos, written by our show founder, Drayton Allen.
There.
Amazing. Okay.
Drayton
Can
Allen
you put
also
like
happens.
Yeah,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna ask, could you deliver it? Can you deliver the coffee mug with a triple in it?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Custodians of the Cosmos was written by our show founder, Drayton Allen. Written about something that is quite like, not like Star Trek at all, for legal litigious reasons. But written about a man who wanted to join something like Starfleet, but for, again, litigious reasons, is not Starfleet. And he couldn't make it, so he rejoined as a custodian so he could boldly clean up after those who had boldly just went. So, but we'll send you that book as well if you get 4. Now, however, if you can't get at least 3 of these right and you get 2 or less, we take a picture of you, we make a meme out of you, and we put you into our 194,000 member Facebook group.
Amazing. Okay. Well, I feel like I'm gonna set myself up for that one, unfortunately. Anyway, knowing how illiterate I am when it comes to movies, I just got a projector the other day. It came in the day after I tested positive for COVID, and I've been watching throwback films on my wall.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go watch all of these movies that you're about to school me on.
We'll keep you busy. Don't worry about it.
Some of them are
All
pretty
right.
good.
All right, Nick, lead it out.
The Matrix, The Mummy, and 10 Things I Hate About You. Did they come out in 2005, 2001, or 1999?
1999.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Very good. There's one.
I just watched The Matrix for the first time like a month ago.
Ooh.
Hate me.
Look at you doing show prep and you didn't even
You
know
know what's
it.
funny is I've never seen the first one. I've seen the sequel, but not the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
First one's great.
That seems problematic.
And I
It
thought about
didn't make
watching
any
10 Things
sense.
I Hate. I thought about watching 10 Things I Hate About You last night. So
It
yeah,
is
that's
a
what I'm
great-
watching
I
tonight.
Great
like-
show.
Yeah,
Love that
I love
movie.
that one.
I think that's going to be on our watch list for tonight.
Those are
Okay, hit me
those
again.
are all great movies.
All right, number
question two.
Spider-Man 2, Dodgeball, and The Village. Is it 1987, 2004, or 2014?
2004.
That is correct.
2 for 2.
I'm kind of like, I just can picture the kind of the vibe of
Mhm.
the shows, and I'm like, what's the aesthetic of this time? Okay,
I also
it's
need to watch
super, super
Dodgeball
good.
again.
Oh,
All
so
right,
good.
2 for 2.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Fury, Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 1. Was that 2014, 2001, or 2009?
2014.
You are correct.
3 for
I said
3.
it as you said it.
You did.
Did anyone hear me?
All right.
say
I did
that?
hear you say 2014.
That was
There
like
you go.
my middle school years, I guess.
Yeah. That's
No.
encouraging.
What's that?
Wow,
High
Tim,
school?
Tim, is this how you feel all the time?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Every
fine.
single time we interview
Yeah.
somebody and you remind me how old I am. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That soul-crushing, heart-sinking.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So, but yeah, so you've earned your I Gave to the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund coffee mug.
Sweet.
She says 2014, middle school, high school, and I'm like, that's the year I got married. It's okay.
Wait,
I'm
no,
not old.
2014 is the year was grade 11 for me because I graduated in 2015. So
Okay,
it's
so that's not terrible.
not horrible.
Feel a little bit old still, but not as bad. Tim's
I was
like,
trying to think. I wasn't thinking about the date. I was thinking more of like, when was I obsessed with the Hunger Games? Because I read
Okay.
all those books and they were great. And I guess I was in high school. Or like right before, I guess early high school, because then
Yeah.
the movies would have come out later. But yeah.
All right,
There you go.
question number 4. Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey, and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Like
But-
2019.
2018, 2020, or 2021?
2020.
That is correct.
Yeah.
4 for 4. So coffee mug and a book. There you go.
Yeah. I just
And-
had to remember when the whole Sonic the Hedgehog mishap happened. And I think I was in LA when that happened. So that would have been, yeah. Sweet. Yay, I didn't fail.
And this one will be for funsies. The Martian, James Bond Spectre, Ant-Man. Was it 2010, 2000, or 2015?
2015.
You're correct.
5 for 5.
Yeah.
Very good.
Sweet.
All right. Look at you go.
If you did anything before the 2000s, though, I probably would have failed. I mean, I might have not watched all of them, but like I still see content about it.
I think Tim tried to take your age into consideration when writing the questions.
Thank
A little
you very
bit.
much. Appreciate it.
He, however, did not take into account that you may not have seen these movies.
Okay, now I know I'm gonna go watch 10 Things I Hate About You tonight.
There you go.
That's gonna be my tonight one. That's Heath Ledger, right?
Yes, it is.
Pre-Joker, yes.
Little baby Heath.
Oh, I was thinking about a different movie.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
The one with
the movie where Joker and Robin go to school together. Yeah.
Which one were you thinking of, Nick?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, that's a different 10 movie.
I know.
Matthew
I always get
Matthew
those two
McConaughey,
confused.
Yeah, that one's a really good movie though.
Your head
That
is a
one's
complicated place, Nick.
super funny.
Thanks.
You get 10 things I hate about you and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days confused.
They both have 10.
I get it.
I mean,
I get it. I get it. Yeah,
Well-
I'd probably do that.
well, Hallea, thank you so much for being on the show today. Where can our listeners go to find out more about you and what you're doing now?
Instagram is the best thing. HALLEA JONES, Hallea Jones. On Instagram and Twitter is basically the two primary places where everything happens. More so my Instagram story. That's where all the chaos happens. And then on SoundCloud, I'm the same thing, Hallea Jones.
Awesome.
Very good.
We will link all of those in our video description so that our viewers and our listeners can find you and stalk you the way Tim does. I mean, did.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
like
making
I
that
said
awkward.
earlier, well, honestly, as we've already discussed, the content is out there for a reason, right?
We just may forget that it's there.
Exactly.
I mean, I have music coming out this month, which is really exciting, and I'm filming a music video for it the day I get out of quarantine, and so everything will come as planned, and I'm gonna use my time in isolation, making more music and not making
Excellent.
TikToks because I refuse to give into that world. Everyone's
It's a
like, oh, what a
slippery
great
slope.
time to like make content and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'll make music, I'll watch
There you
movies,
go.
but I'm not making TikToks.
Music's
yeah.
content. That's good
There you go.
content.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
great content. Well, I had fun.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to remind everybody that subscribing is the single most important thing you can do to ensure that we get more amazing guests like Hallea Jones here today and have these funny and wacky conversations about food and coffee for you and other fun moments for you guys to be able to listen to. So if you haven't already, at the bottom of your screen, somewhere down there is that beautiful subscribe button. Go ahead and smash that as many times as you can. It only works once though, but we want to make sure that you guys do that. And be sure to check out Hallea's work as well, not only on Instagram and Twitter, but also SoundCloud as well. Now, however, if for whatever reason you are not happy with the content of our show today, please feel free to lodge a complaint with the head of our complaint department. I'll get that right yet. And that would be Dodge from Locke Key. She'll appear with the Anywhere key and pop into your head with the head key and remove the memory. And if you still aren't happy, she'll use the identity key and turn you into her and have you thrown into the Omega portal. Either way, something's going to happen to the offending party, and you can continue to enjoy the show.
Thanks again, Hallea.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Our show is brought to you by our charity sponsor, the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund, which supports the Wish Upon a Teen Foundation that helps out sick kids when they need it most. And just imagine the comfort you will give Red Shirt crewman number 64. He'll know that when he puts on the red shirt and joins the Locks in protecting the Keys against Dodge, that he didn't leave his family destitute and without hope, because the Red Shirt Widows and Orphans Fund has his back, and what's left of his memories.
And speaking of sponsors and show partners, check out this short video from our good friends over at Level Up Lightsabers. Information about Level Up Lightsabers and their online training sessions can be found in the episode description below.
On behalf of the rest of the hosts of Funny Science Fiction, we'd like to thank you for listening to this episode. If you'd like to be a guest on one of our future episodes, please contact us by means of our Facebook group, Funny Science Fiction. You can find us on Twitter or Instagram using the handle @Funny SciFi, or you can go to DraytonAllen.com and click the Contact Me link at the bottom of the page. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed the episode.